Welcome to today's lesson. Our lesson is Hola y adiós. Saludos y despedidas en español. Hello and goodbye. Greetings and farewells in Spanish. Saludos. Greetings. Greetings refer to words used to say hello. Hola. Hello. ¿Qué pasa? What's happening? ¿Qué tal? What's up? Buenos días. Good morning. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon. Buenas noches. Good evening. Good night. Notice for the word ¿qué tal? It means what's up, but if you translate it literally, it comes up as what such. Why is this? Well, there's a difference between the idiomatic expression, which means what is meant when you say it, and the literal translation, which is the word for word translation. In Spanish and English, we have different ways of communicating ideas. We have different phrasings. ¿Qué tal? Pretty much translates to what's up, but the word for word meaning is what such. This is an example of idiomatic meaning. So it's important when you translate to understand the way we say things in different languages, not just the literal meaning of each word. Let's move on. Despedidas, farewells. Farewells refers to words or phrases used to say goodbye. Adiós, goodbye. Nos vemos, see you. Hasta luego, see you later. Hasta mañana, see you tomorrow. Nos vemos en la, see you in the. Buenas noches, good night. All right, so we can see here in parentheses, we have a few literal translations. Adiós is used to mean goodbye, but literally it translates to God. Nos vemos translates to see ya, but the word for word translation is more like we'll see each other. Hasta luego pretty much means see you later, but literally it translates to until later. And let's look at the phrase nos vemos en la. How would you use this? You would say things like nos vemos en la mañana, or nos vemos en la noche, o nos vemos en la tarde. See you in the morning, see you at night, see you in the evening or the afternoon. All right, let's move on. Frases útiles, useful phrases. Me llamo, my name is. And again, the literal translation is I call myself. But in English, we don't really use that as a phrase to introduce each other. It's kind of, it sounds kind of weird. You can say it, but it's not how we usually say it. So, me llamo means my name is, but word for word, literally, it translates to I call myself. ¿Y tú? And you? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? And again, this actually wouldn't be what's your name. It actually would be more like what do you call yourself? Which again is a weird way of saying it, which is why we put the translation as what's your name? ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Bien. Good. Gracias. Thank you. Encantada or encantado. Pleasure. Pleased, delighted. Now, the difference in the ending there for parentheses, you don't write it usually with the parentheses. That's just used to mean that the last letter could be an A or an O, depending on the gender of the speaker. Someone who identifies as female would usually use encantada, and someone who identifies as a male would use encantado. Mucho gusto. Pleased to meet you. And again, the literal translation isn't pleased to meet you, it's much pleasure. But we don't say much pleasure in English. So when we're talking about meeting someone, we say mucho gusto, as in pleased to meet you. Let's move on. Let's look at the idea of formality, la formalidad. Spanish uses a lot of formal and informal ways of speaking. There are formal ways to refer to people, and there are formal phrases. There are also informal ways to refer to people and informal phrases. Formal forms or formal ways of speaking are used with people you don't know, elders, people in positions of authority, to show more respect. Words like hola and adios are generally more on the formal side. They're not super formal, but they're pretty much the standard. You use them with everybody. Informal is used with people you know well, people who are your same age or younger, and to show familiarity, to show that basically you guys know each other, or to show basically that you know each other pretty well and you don't have to be super formal or respectful. It's understood that you respect each other, or that perhaps you don't. Words like ¿qué tal and nos vemos are more informal than hola or adios. If you're meeting your new boss, you usually would not go up to them and say ¿qué tal? Unless you're fairly certain that they're a very informal kind of person. Usually when you meet someone of authority, you use words like hola or adios. You wouldn't say ¿qué tal or nos vemos quite the same. So just a little bit of an introduction to formal and informal. And again, these aren't strict rules. Some people are more formal and informal. And these rules kind of change over time. Sometimes the informal nowadays becomes more acceptable. But strictly speaking, hola is a little more formal than ¿qué tal? And adios is a little more formal than nos vemos. Let's move on. All right. La práctica. Practice. Number 1. Traduce el diálogo. Translate the dialogue. Please read this dialogue and translate it into Spanish. Person A and person B are shown by the letters. Person A says, good morning. Person B says, hello, how are you? Person A says, good, my name is Mark. And you? Person B says, my name is Frank. Pleased to meet you. Person A responds, delighted. Goodbye. Number 2. Escribe, write. Write a paragraph in Spanish in which you greet someone, introduce yourself, ask their name, and then give a farewell. All right. Good luck. Try these out. Finally, el repaso, the review. Responde, answer. 1. What are greetings and farewells? 2. What is the role of formality in word choice? 3. What is idiomatic speech, and why should we keep it in mind when translating? Piensa, think. 4. In what ways are Spanish and English similar and different when it comes to greetings and farewells? And 5. How can you use the knowledge presented today to help you communicate? That's it for today's video on greetings and farewells. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can send me an email or you can leave a comment. Have fun with this. I hope you learned something today. Hasta luego, mis alumnos.